I'll never forget the day Feather came into our lives, a burst of color and squawks that changed everything. I was 8 months pregnant, waddling around, when my colleague called about a parrot left in a basement. The owner didn't want her anymore, and my heart sank at the thought of this bird, neglected and alone. I didn't know much about parrots, but something told me we had to take her in. So we did, naming her Feather for her vibrant, soft plumage that seemed to glow under the light. Feather's past wasn't kind. She'd been ignored, locked away in a dim cage. I expected her to be skittish, maybe even mean. But when we brought her home, she surprised me. She'd perch on her stand, tilting her head, watching me with those bright, curious eyes. I'd talk to her, saying, "Hey, pretty bird," and she'd mimic me back, her voice a little raspy but full of life. It felt like she was trying to trust us, but her wariness lingered, like she was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Then Sophia was born, and everything shifted. I was nervous about introducing Feather to my newborn daughter. Parrots can be unpredictable after all. But the moment Feather saw Sophia, it was like she'd found her purpose. She'd flutter down to the crib, staring at Sophia with this intense, gentle focus. I'd say, "Feather, leave the baby alone." But she'd just inch closer, trying to nudge her way under the blankets. It wasn't aggression. It was love, pure and simple. I felt this warmth in my chest, trusting her completely. Feather would never hurt Sophia. I knew it in my bones. From that day on, Feather was Sophia's shadow. If Sophia crawled across the floor, Feather would hop along behind her, squawking like she was cheering her on. I'd laugh, saying, "Feather, I'm gonna get you," and she'd flap her wings, playing along. But it wasn't just play. Feather took on this motherly role. When Sophia cried, Feather would waddle over, cooing softly, like she was trying to comfort her. If Sophia napped, Feather would perch nearby, keeping watch. It was beautiful, but it also made me wonder, how could a bird who'd been so neglected give so much love? Parrots need a lot of attention, and we poured time into Feather. Sophia loved banging on our old piano, her tiny hands making chaotic music. Feather would join in, hopping onto the keys, adding her own clinks and clatters. They'd dance to the noise, Sophia giggling and Feather bobbing her head. It was their thing, music and movement, pure joy. But sometimes I'd catch Feather staring at Sophia with this look, like she saw her as her own chick. It was touching, but it also tugged at my heart. Feather had no family before us, yet here she was, building one with my daughter. Mealtimes were another adventure. Sophia would sit in her high chair, smearing food everywhere, and Feather would perch on the tray, nibbling at bits of fruit. They'd share everything, apples, crackers, even the occasional Cheerio. I'd say, "Feather, that's Sophia's," but she'd just squawk and steal another bite. It was messy, but it was their ritual. Watching them, I felt this deep gratitude. Feather's past could have made her bitter, but instead, she chose love. Still, there were challenges. Feather's need for interaction meant we had to be present, always. If we got busy, she'd get loud, shrieking until we gave her attention. It was exhausting, especially with a newborn. But then I'd see her cuddle up to Sophia, resting her head against her tiny shoulder, and my frustration would melt away. Feather wasn't just a pet, she was family. So we adjusted, carving out time for her, knowing how much she meant to Sophia. One day, Sophia was fussing, nothing soothing her. I was at my wit's end, pacing the living room. Feather hopped over, climbed onto Sophia's bouncer, and started singing this soft, nonsense tune. Sophia stopped crying, her eyes wide, then burst into giggles. I stood there, tears in my eyes, watching this bird comfort my daughter in a way I couldn't. It felt like Feather and Sophia had known each other forever, like their souls were tied across lifetimes. But it also hit me how fragile this was. Feather was older. And parrots don't live forever. How would Sophia handle losing her? As Sophia grew, their bond only deepened. Feather would mimic Sophia's babbles, turning mama into a squawky chant that made us all laugh. They'd play hide and seek, Sophia toddling around while Feather flapped after her, calling, "Where's baby?" I'd watch, marveling at how Feather treated Sophia like her own. But sometimes I'd see Feather tire more easily, her feathers not as bright. I'd push the thought away, but it lingered. What would we do without her? One quiet afternoon, Sophia was playing with her stuffed bunny, and Feather waddled over, nudging it like it was hers to protect. I snapped a photo, my heart full. This bird, who'd been left in a basement, had found her place with us. She'd chosen Sophia, and Sophia had chosen her back. It was a love I never expected, but it changed me. I realized Feather wasn't just teaching Sophia about care, she was teaching me too. So, I vowed to cherish every moment, every squawk, every shared snack. Looking back, I think Feather saw something in Sophia that first day, a chance to heal, to belong. Their connection wasn't just luck, it was a gift. Feather could have been timid, closed off from her past, but she opened her heart to us. And in return, we gave her a home, a family, a purpose. Watching them together, I feel like I'm witnessing something sacred, a bond that defies explanation. It's messy, loud, and sometimes overwhelming, but it's ours. Thank you for watching. If you like the story, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. See you in the next video.